Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, here we are again. We got another Spy Party competitive league cast. This is the Saturday cast, and we are getting down to the end of the season here. We've got a couple finals matches to showcase today, and I got a couple excellent casters to take us through them. We got
Hello.
Nanthalis and Slappy Davis.
Hello.
Morning, everyone, or evening, or wherever it is.
Yep.
I guess this is the EU cast, so
Yep. It's tech. Yeah, I guess you would call it afternoon, evening. I don't know. One of those things. Anyway, yep. We got two awesome finals matches. We've got the copper match between the Polish brothers Baldrick and Marimo.
bit of a history there.
Yeah, seemed to
Just
be
a
like
bit.
a destined finals. I mean, have they been? I mean, how many seasons have they been in? 3 seasons now, or or only two? Either way, they basically seem to go first and second every season, right? That seems to be their history.
Yeah, they've been butting heads for a while now.
Yep, yep. They
I don't
seem to
know if
both be
it's
pretty good.
just the sibling
Yeah,
bond conspiring to put
yep,
them in finals every year, but
yeah. I don't know.
I
I mean,
think
it
there's
also helped that there's a little bit of a breakdown on Copper.
mm,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
kind of the theme of today's finals is
yeah, by
is the
winning by default.
winning by default.
Yep,
Lots of dropouts, lots of
yep,
slain
yep.
opponents.
I mean, and Steph gave it a good go. She came, I think, reasonably close to know, being in the second place spot, but those brothers are just hard to beat.
hmm
All right, let's see. We'll get into their match here. Let me find them picks and bans.
I liked for both of these. I'm gonna just repeat this joke twice. I like Klatos's joke a lot. That today we're gonna be casting the battle royale finals, basically,
Yeah,
where all the other players have died as we've gone along. We started probably with hundreds in both copper and platinum, and then you just got whittled down until there's only two people left. The circle has closed in. These are the two ones.
yep,
hmm
But the really fun
yep,
thing that's going to be about the Polish brothers finals between Baldrick and Marimo is there have been throughout Spy Party these little pockets, these little separate universes where a couple of players play each other so much their internal meta gets
yeah.
so developed and weird and separate, kind of a little bit insulated from the rest of the meta. Now, of course, it's not super insulated. There was one set of players, and I always forget what the name of these players is, but maybe if
I don't.
zero.
Yeah, I don't either. I know, but the people who basically only played against themselves.
I think
Oops.
it was Woodland Gnome and like Dan Birch or something like that. That's just like coming to my mind. But there were a few players that basically never played anybody but each other, but they played hundreds and hundreds of games of each other. Unfortunately, this was back before expectation, but so it's still this kind of like running thing in the back of a lot of players' minds. It's like, what did their games look like? What does Spy Party look like if you never interact with the larger meta and you just develop this long-standing internal meta? We'll get a taste of that
Yeah,
probably with Baldrick versus Miramo, but they have played enough against other players that
yeah.
outside strategies have crept in.
Uh-huh.
They still seem to find a way to do pretty well against everybody else. So yeah, we'll see. Where'd their picks and pans go? Up here they are. All right. So Baldrick was the higher seed. I think he was ahead by pretty good margin too.
Decent margin.
And
He was definitely the dominant
yeah,
in the division.
so he chose to pick pick the map first, which was interesting, and spy second. I usually feel like in the map second is better, but I don't know. I guess I guess
Mhm.
I guess there's
There
different ways to think of
there's
it.
kind of a desire to come out on the first map that is your choice and perform
Yeah, I
strong.
get that. I personally prefer like having my maps as like I can sort of ensure that my maps get there, or more like I want my opponent to pick the maps that I like. so that I
Yeah,
don't have to. So I can.
they're strategic trade-offs for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. So anyway, the first oh, website. I don't have the bands. I guess I missed that part. Let's see. Huh. They did.
I actually don't see any bans
Yeah.
recorded
All right. So
either.
we don't know what they banned. But anyway.
It's possible they just didn't ban anything.
Yeah, it's possible that they didn't ban anything. I'm just gonna say they both declined bans. Yeah, they didn't. This one, they don't do the. This one doesn't go through the Hummus's official replay system or anything because he didn't have it
Hummus
set
is
up
a
for the.
lazy
It
scallywag
wasn't
that
set up for the
isn't doing
finals.
his job.
How dare he not spend his spare time working on this and perfecting it. All right. Anyway, but we know their picks. The first pick came from Baldrick, and it was Ballroom.
Ballroom, it makes a bit more sense with the whole pick first thing because it's definitely a map where the spy has a stronger chance of winning than your average
Yeah.
map, I'd say. So if you want to kind of throw them off with an early spy win, this is the place to do it.
Now the first pick coming out of Marimo. A little bit of a different map, Veranda.
Yeah, I was looking through the bans from the regular season, and Marimo almost universally banned Terrace any 3 of 5. So I'm guessing, but the other time that he did not ban Terrace any 3 of 5, he banned Balcony. So it seems to indicate a preference for larger maps. Baldrick doesn't have like a very, very consistent ban. He banned Pub a couple of times. So I'm just trying to like intuit if there's any sort of banning that had gone on previously. Baldrick had banned Veranda versus Marimo in their week 9 match versus each other. So Marimo Baldrick had known that Marimo likes Veranda, so it's not a surprise here.
All right, and then the second pick out of Baldrick is Gallery. My favorite maps.
Gallery is going to be pretty similar to Ballroom in that they have the same mission setup.
Yeah.
Um,
but it's
another map where the spy can get away with stuff, though I'd say slightly harder than Ballroom.
Yeah, and it's a map that requires you to be a little on it a little bit more as spy. You can't really idle around quite as much since there's just so much distance to travel between each mission point potentially, especially when there's only those 2 conversation circles in your chasing your ST all the way and only to find that they go in the opposite direction of you when you get there.
Also, basically any map, it's the worst at trying to cobble together a bunch of missions at the last second. You can't get a 3 inspect, so you can't do like a 3 inspect swap if you need 2 missions. It's difficult to rely on Banana Bread. It's really, as you said, difficult to rely on Seduction Target, probably really far away. You can't really rush very much. The best you can basically hope for is like Toby being near the back conversation, DA being there, being able to rush a microfilm. Microfilm is actually probably the most reliable quick mission that you can do besides swap.
All right. Anyway, the next pick out of Marimo, interesting to see it this early, is Courtyard.
You decided to end the game of Courtyard chicken around early, which might be a misplay, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Usually you let the other player pick Courtyard, but hey, strategy, I guess. We'll see.
Oh, actually, we should actually talk real quick because I actually don't remember how did these maps play out? Are these doubled, all of them?
No, the first 2 maps are doubled, then the other maps are all singles.
There's just one extra round of picks.
It's basically the same as normal, but one extra map each that are singles.
So Ballroom, Veranda are doubled, Gallery, Courtyard, and the next 2 maps are going to be singles.
It's the Diamond Finals that are nuts. Like all the maps but 2, and then they're in alphabetical order.
Gotcha. Okay, that was the thing that I was trying to remember. I know there's something weird that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about
that. Yeah, that's a Kaylee and Bacon thing to worry about. All right.
But
Anyway,
the person who wins the plat finals later today might have to worry about that if they cruise on the next season.
yeah, we'll see. The final pick out of Baldrick is Modern. Interesting. Now,
Mhm.
Baldrick's picking a big map.
We're actually just seeing from some of the stats we've collected that Modern was the most sniper favored map
Huh.
in this season, I believe.
Yep.
I know there was a discussion that started on the forums regarding it and how to kind of tilt it more towards the spy. I
Yeah.
don't know if Baldrick knows that and he wants kind of a map that he can split to close it out if he's confident
Yeah.
he'll be by this
Yeah, it's
point.
interesting that it's sniper favored. You know, it seems like because there's like a lot going on. There's the bar. It seems like Purloin is generally easier to get away with here than it is on, say, Pub. But
I agree with the recent sentiments that it needs more time. It
but
just
yeah, that's probably true. I think you know we've watched enough timeouts on this map. You know,
yeah.
it can be rough.
Yeah, and I think
Mhm.
that one of the reluctances I think on the part of snipers to change the map is it's uncomfortable to snipe on. Still, you feel like you're behind a lot of times, but eventually snipers are usually able to pull it out on Modern. And the thing is, I will say that snipers are the more fragile half of every player where they do not like being uncomfortable, the sniper half of every player basically, and then the spy half is more okay with going up against the odds. So I think there's like this weird, I like Modern because it exposes this odd in between territory where they are numerically favored, but it still feels uncomfortable, so we're a little bit reluctant to change. I do think that's going to change by next season. I think we'll see some small changes to that, at least hopefully some time. But it's still really fun to watch. So at least with that, where it's like there'll be some maps like back in the day when Courtyard 2 was like any 4 of 6 and super sniper favored. It wasn't that much fun to watch some of the time, right? Modern is still a blast to watch because there's so many options.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the final pick will be Pub. You know, that's a map.
Yeah, it is. It's Spy Party.
Mhm. It's probably one where framing can definitely happen, and when you're on the last round of a match and you're a bit jumpy, frames can definitely be very strong because the sniper is almost looking for anything to shoot for. So I would say it's an interesting pick for Pub to be because going into the last round, if they make it that far, it's going to be a close match and they're going to be willing to shoot for even the slightest infractions, I'd say.
Yep. Anyway, yeah. So that that may just be part of their own little metas. I'm not hard to say.
Hmm.
Anyway,
And
I think we're ready to see the actual match here. Up. Actually, bring it up in the game too. Yep. Sort by opposite date because it's backwards.
And the main advantage, all right, so I'm looking at the regular season games between these two. The main advantage that seems to exist between Marimo and Baldrick is that Baldrick is able to break serve as spy just a little bit more often, and especially on Ballroom. Um, like on the 4 times they played that map, Baldrick has not lost as sniper yet. Sorry, the 8 times that they
Huh.
played on this map, well, 4 times as each role. And Baldrick has not lost as sniper, but Baldrick has snuck by as spy win in half the games. So that makes a lot of sense why Baldrick was opening with Ballroom. So it seems like Marimo is just a little bit further behind in sniper, and so as long as Baldrick feels like he can hold serve on as sniper, um, he can edge out Marimo. So
Yep.
I'm seeing that kind of in his picks then, where those maps are ones where sniper spy is a little bit more plausible to finish, and it looks like Marimo is trying to more lock down like the sniper-ish friendly maps.
Hmm. Stuff like the courtyard pick definitely lend themselves to that kind of idea. Courtyard
Yeah.
pick, veranda pick, another map where you can camp very effectively, and if you're vigilant about it, it's not too difficult to get a spy shot.
All right, and I think we are ready to go. We got Marimo as the first spy as teal dress or mom
Crazy eyes.
or crazy. Yep, also crazy eyes. It is. All right, ready to go? In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, one tendency to note right off the bat, Baldrick is a ambassador lowlighter apparently, and that's like there's kind of like a big divide I think in Spy Party. I don't think it ever really comes up as an argument, but I like seeing how some players lowlight ambassador. Whenever I see it, I think you're crazy. I would always highlight ambassador, but it's just a different way to kind of play it. And one thing that I like about lowlighting ambassador though, that I kind of wish that one of the reasons why I kind of second guess myself is it's way easier to see a highlighted hand come through a lowlit ambassador.
I've actually been trying to switch my own habits from highlighting to lowlighting for that exact reason. In any case, even though this is Baldrick's pick, it's going to be interesting to see if Marimo kind of takes advantage of the map as well and comes out with an aggressive spy game early in the set.
Yeah, if that's a great point. Where if Marimo's able to actually start with his first spy win versus Baldrick on this map in competitive SCL, that would actually shake Baldrick out because I've got to imagine that Baldrick is the more comfortable of the two right now. All right, this is gonna be the probably the moment is yes or no on whether or not this is seen.
Mm-hmm. White Purloin comes off. Toby rotates around. Looks like Baldrick's rotating around to get a look at the list. Sees it there and highlights teal for the Purloin.
And that's a real bad sign because Taft isn't Hylit.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think Taft earned much suspicion for the Purloin coming off there. I think it's mostly down to us.
Well, actually changes up a little bit. So now we have a little bit more of a chance. Because if we were highlight just for the early one and Baldrick was only highlighting us, then it would have been a real bad situation where he was basically just going to wait for confirmation and he was just already knew and he just wanted to watch where we're going. But right now, the three people that were in that conversation circle with drinks are all highlight, so we have a bit of a chance.
Mm-hmm. Definitely gives us a bit more cover in the sense that instead of watching a single person's actions, he's now splitting his attention between three. And even then, it doesn't look like he's totally tunneled in on those three. He hasn't low-lit the rest of the party or anything else. You might be able to see in some of his sniper movements which of the three he's looking more closely at. Marimo was the first to be highlight, so he's the most obvious choice there. But it's possible that he's
Banana bread.
staring down the others a bit more.
I like this banana bread. It looked like both Taft and Admiral were talking at the time. Now the problem is, it was definitely not an actual banana bread.
Both SDAs were out of conversation by the blue bookshelf.
Oh, and he does get shot. Interesting. So I think that's actually just a misplay by Baldrick in a way, because if he had thought that that Admiral was the spy, he could have just waited. This is a little bit of overconfidence, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like almost a shooting to be cool. Because yeah, if you know for a fact that couldn't that BB was fake, there's no reason. Interesting that you called them Admiral.
I like giving him a promotion.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting one now, but
So, something interesting to note there. I don't know if this is Baldrick's reason for shooting, but it almost looks like as General begins talking, you can kind of see Pearls walking away from the conversation, so maybe thought it was a white BB started while she was in there with him, and then she left to make it a fake.
possible.
That's just one possible
Yep.
reason for the shot. Might
Right.
not be the reason.
All right. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll see if Baldrick can come back with a bio win of his own here. He's got wheels. Unfortunately, starting with the drinks. We'll see what he does here in 3, 2, 1. Plan it.
Yeah, Cletus is right that this is a bad position because it's also the worst drink. It's so uninspired. It's my least favorite drink. It's just like it looks like an empty cup.
Baldrick agrees, so he's going to get rid of it right away.
He's gonna sip that empty air and get that book out.
Looks like Marimo's spending most of his attention getting statue highlights early, so I don't know if we were seen at the blue bookshelf. We got away from it relatively quickly.
We did. Our camera was kind of indicating that we're gonna try to force our way in there, which is always a little bit awkward looking as Wheels because Wheels has the great use of cover for the microfilm though.
Mm-hmm. Tex was covering that plenty. I don't think we have any suspicion for that at all.
Oh, I don't know about this drive-by, but we are actually not going for the drive-by. Okay, good restraint because, as people have mentioned, Wheels has kind of a terrible drive-by bug because you can always tell if he's drive-by bugging by whether or not his arm is on the armrest or not. Because when he is moving, his arm will never come off the armrest.
Mm-hmm. So we're actually in a pretty good position there. We got the first microfilm off behind another character. Second microfilm came off behind a lot of very full conversations. And I really like this from Baldrick. Even though we're going bookcase to bookcase, we have all of the microfilm animations done before we get highlight for anything else. Which oftentimes microfilm animations become much more easy to spot if you're highlight, for instance.
No, I think you're right. That's great use of sequencing, and also, like Wheels is kind of some people would consider Wheels like a, a discount DeVito, right? Where it's some of the advantages of DeVito, but with more drawbacks. But one of the advantages he still maintains is a short stature, and when he was behind in that second conversation, I think that he was almost completely blocked, and a great way to actually start out the game because you're right. If he's highlighted, it's so much easier to see. Also, he tried the reverse bug before missed, but then got this next bug. So we're actually in a really good position.
It's definitely a great position for the reverse drive-by. As Wheels, it's going to be even harder to see because the arm is lower than most of the other characters.
Exactly. So while his walking bug, when he's in motion, might be bad, his drive-by bug is fantastic. Or sorry, his reverse drive-by bug. We have to have a better name than that someday. His reverse drive-by bug is fantastic.
Banana bread.
We have 2 hardtails done. We do finish Banana Bread. It looks like this is going to be a pretty clean spy win for Baldrick, given that we have no suspicion and just one more flirt to go.
Yeah, no, I think that we're going to probably get away with this. The only question is whether or not we're going to put ourselves in a bad position by waiting too long to flirt. And it looks like we actually step in to do it. The only thing I would hate is if he waited too long and Seduction bailed on us, which right now there's going to be a drink animation opportunity, but no, Queen decides to stay.
Interesting. Marimo is highlighting for statues. I wonder if Baldrick is using that to his advantage and intentionally went for his statue-less first game as spy.
I think that he must know that he's at least comfortable highlighting for statues, and so I think once he did the microfilm, he kind of had a game plan in mind because you're probably going to get seduce and contact in your mind, right? And it's about what that next mission is, and then he just put himself in a good position for that bug. He had 2 chances at the standstill walk bug. All right, reverse drugs, not that bad. But the reverse drive-by bug, and yeah, he actually had a sort of plan that came together and executed it well.
Right, on to the next one. So we got a spy party going on here. See if we can keep that up here. In 3, 2, 1, planet.
If you're Marimo, oh wait, am I in the correct game? I don't think I am.
Queen as...
No, I wasn't. Sorry.
Let's try this again.
No, normally it takes me like a few rounds until I mess up, but I guess I'm starting.
Yeah,
early
getting out
today.
of the way early. That's fine. Right, so it should be the third.
Yes.
Third
I'm
ballroom
in
game.
it now. Queen is spy.
Yep. Starting off with a drink once again. It's Marimo this time, and it's slightly nicer looking drink.
No, this drink is fantastic.
Yeah, it is apparently a Pimm's.
Oh yeah, and the cubes are great, and the little cucumber, and I
Yep.
love the little teal straw. It goes really well with white and green. It
Yep.
looks fantastic in the cup. This is a quality drink.
Yeah, good job, John. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, plant.
So what I was going to say before I screwed up was Marimo goes from feeling really good after that first game to not very good after the second game. What early advantage he did hope to garner off of that spy win is now gone. And another thing is that on his spy win, it was not really good play from him, even though that could have been a very good game going forward, but a mistake from Baldrick on the sniper side. And on the flip side of that, Baldrick's spy win was just very clean play in terms of getting the micro and the bug past Marimo. So if he's feeling kind of he's feeling a bit rough about how those two games went in terms of who has the better spy play on this map.
Yeah, agreed. And I was wondering if there would be any sort of tilting by Baldrick during his spy game, but there wasn't. It was a very clean game. It seemed at least apparent that he was very calm, collected, and able to get it. We collect a highlight for the statue visit, but we collected on our second one, and it was pretty much equal to Papa Danger and Middle Statue. So I don't know how suspicious the statue to statue maneuver was by Marimo.
Mm-hmm. It's good that after our flirt, the ST leaves and it appears that we're in a relatively non-suspicious conversation here.
Yeah, okay. We try for the reverse bug. Unfortunately, Ambassador doesn't come quite up next to us. We pet our dog for solace.
Mm-hmm. Amba leaves relatively quickly, so we don't quite get the chance to see if we can puzzle out a bug from that conversation.
I don't
We
know
are
about
gonna
precision.
white Purloin again. Same
Although
thing as last game.
Ambassador does leave. Okay, we are shot. Or sorry, not Ambassador. Toby. The one thing I do like about that though is it showcases one of the advantages of purloining in a relatively empty conversation. If Baldrick hadn't caught that purloin quickly, Toby booked it out of there and went to a completely different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But he was on top of it.
Yep, unfortunately did not white Proline did not work in his favor this time. And that gives Baldrick the first sniper win.
I also think that he did it a little bit early when Toby had come over. Toby had just come over, and the Perlin was almost immediate. Where that's not, I don't know necessarily that the AI would not do that, but it definitely grabs my attention as sniper, even if I don't want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, we got queen back-to-back queens going on here.
Yeah, this is Queen stepping in for MI6, saying, "You James Bond sucks at his job. I have to do it myself."
Yep. Yep. You know, it's a rough life. Anyway, we'll see how this goes in 3, 2, 1, planet.
Last game with that Purloin, Marimo could have been hoping, he shot me for the he shot for the Purloin first time. Is he going to be watching it that closely the second time? And the answer to that, unfortunately for Marimo, is yes. He is even more closely than the first time, because he actually got the correct target this time.
I think that this was a great move by Baldrick. He knows his brother is going to be highlighting for statues, so he just gets a free time ad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially good on Ballroom. Time. You can do so much on Ballroom, and also there's so much suspicion generated by other targets on Ballroom.
Mm-hmm. Between bug paths, the availability of statues, phantom microfilms, you might not usually find someone finish fingerprint, but they can. All of these are potential reasons for an AI to get shot with a lucky banana bread and some aggressive behavior.
It looks like we are positioning our camera that we kind of want to double agent, but it looks like we might just be waiting out the timer flirt.
Mm-hmm. It's a
It's gonna
far
be a little
timer
bit
flirt.
Yeah, I actually don't know the time of. So we're a little bit farther away. So the timer flirt is a little bit shorter, but not that much shorter. What like 40 seconds, 35 seconds, or something? I don't know what the timer flirt is if you're across the conversation from them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing like 40.
It was green, so we're slightly out of range for the 3 flirt without a third green test. We're in a position for a reverse drive-by, but we don't go for it. But we are now in conversation with the DA, so we could see a banana bread come off.
We also have one of the worst bugging ambassadors, but a pretty good fingerprint ambassador, and that does look like the one we're going for. Boots is a little bit tough to bug, but she does move around a lot. She moves around pretty quickly. We do try for the reverse bug with the dog side arm.
Banana
so
bread.
Basically invisible.
Shot
And
comes off
immediate
early.
shot.
Wow.
Any idea what she had done other than probably visit statues?
Looks like
Middle
she-
statues, early Sean. For the potential bug pass.
Suspicion for the time ad, maybe? She did check watch at Windows, but all she really did was center statues and the banana bread.
Yeah, not much else, but you know, brothers meta. I could be something.
Whenever there's a shot we don't
Yep,
understand, in
brothers
this set,
meta.
we'll just chalk it up to
Yep.
brothers meta.
All right. Anyway, on to the next one. Ooh, we got a new map here. We're going to good old veranda.
I don't know if anyone caught the post prediction stream last night, but Veranda is actually the least picked map in SCL Season 4.
That is.
Don't see it too often.
That is true. It's. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I actually I like it. I'm not particularly great on it, so I've been, banning it a little bit here and there.
I think the main problem, is the people that there was a crew of people that loved Old Art Veranda, myself included.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Don't really like New Art Veranda, and then the people that didn't like Old Art Veranda continue not really liking New Art Veranda. So there's not an audience really for Veranda right now. It's not a bad map. I feel like there could be some tweaks to the map. It's a gorgeous map, first of all. I think it's I don't know, modern in my mind replaces a lot of the things that I thought was interesting about a library or about Veranda. I also think that the laser, I really wish that some of the cover was redone on this, because there's basically not that much interesting laser movement on
I would agree.
Veranda.
There's not that cost of move. You don't have to move that much anymore. Maybe to see everything. Maybe if they just added some cover. I don't know if you could stretch out the map a little bit more.
I completely agree.
But anyway,
one of the big things is that that bush that was on the right side corner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Blocks that rotate around, and maybe you had to see the left edge of Blue Bookcase. I think that is almost the single biggest thing that changed in this map, and I think something's got to go there.
All right. Anyway, we got Marimo as spy. He is unfortunately down 2 points right now, so he'll need a good run here to come back. We'll see if he can do it. Start in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We are orange sorry on
Starting
Veranda.
with a drink again. Has he started with a drink every time so far?
And this is a less quality drink than the Queen one. I like it. It's still got that slice of lemon, but the lemon slice blends in a little too much the color of the drink that it's in. Doesn't have the nice contrast of the blue, the green, and the white that exist in Queen's drink. But still better than Wheels.
Better than our drink is the green time ad we just got off. I haven't seen Baldrick make any lights for it yet, so I think it's come off clean. Or even if it hasn't, I don't think we can be particularly suspected for it.
And as mentioned before, orange dress, so this is a needed green time ad in all likelihood.
Even after the time ad with orange dress, you can't really lean back and take extra time to idle or something. You still have to be moving.
Yeah, it does look like we're going for the timer flirt here, which I don't know if that's a way I'd like to start a game. That might be a good middle part of the game. You go do something, and then you do your timer flirt while you're waiting off the suspicion of something else. But right now, it's just costing you early game time. It just kind of limits your options, I guess. And he doesn't seem to be looking around for fingerprints, which is the other thing is, in my mind, if you are going to timer flirt, that is the time to be looking around the map, seeing what else is going on, seeing who's been at statues, seeing where fingerprints are in particular, seeing if there's a good banana bread opportunity, maybe that sort of thing. But it looked like we were just kind of relaxing and hanging out and waiting for the timer flirt to come back up.
Taking an innocent drink, choose not to purloin for once. And now stepping into another innocent conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite what we're doing here. We got the okay. We're okay. No, we have drink in hand, so we weren't able to get the angle on that bug. It looked like we were bumping into Ambassador a little bit, intending to bug, but drink prevents that. We will be banana breading though, and that's actually
Banana
pretty
bread.
good banana bread, to be honest. Oh,
Good.
except that it's red.
Oh, the sniper cam is rotated over. Some low lights come off on the others in our conversation. We don't get low lit, so we may be suspected for the cough.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing. So I was thinking the same thing as okay, well they got low lit because they wouldn't have coughed. But the thing is, cough wouldn't really. Oh wait, no, I know what it is. They weren't talking, and it was guaranteed to be a talking one. That's the really dangerous thing about white banana, or sorry, red banana bread is you know it's not a green, right? That's the guarantee. So actually, that's a heads up play by Baldrick, and that's just a good lesson for those in chat. If you don't see the cough in a red test banana bread and you don't see it and you're kind of bummed that you didn't see the cough, well, it's okay. Just collect low lights on people that weren't talking because that's guaranteed to be a talking banana bread.
A minute 30 left and we're just now starting statues. We idled away an extraordinary amount of time. And as orange dress, maybe if you're a character like Taft or Boots or someone, you can afford to do that and then go for a late rush. This is going to be difficult for Marimo to finish.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think Marimo, this might be some of the like, and I'm not even being ironic here. This actually might be some of the Polish brothers meta. I think Marimo's a bit nervous versus his brother, and like that's, and I totally understand this. There's a couple of snipers that kill me, and I can't be nervous if I'm playing spy. It just kills my spy game. Like for example, Canadian Bacon, he's always just killed me as spy, and so I've just always played slow versus him. And I'm wondering if this is part of what's going on here. And he's going to be purloining again. This time we do get a green, but we're a little addicted to purloin, I think.
White time ad comes off. I believe that was pretty necessary to finish the game. And now with the purloin pending and one more statue visit, we're much more on track to finish. It doesn't look like it's going to be a swap finish because we are at the front statues.
Yeah, and I am curious, of course, what the last mission is going to be. I don't think we have time for fingerprint. We're passing up the swap. Bug would obviously be ideal because we're high lit, so it'll be difficult to get a. Oh, we are setting up for a bug. And this is a big moment.
Takes, and it's not seen. I don't think Baldrick can take this shot.
Yeah, it looked like he was rotating around and considering it. I couldn't quite tell if he was basically forcing himself to take the shot or not. But in the end, we don't. That was well set up because the way that Marimo positioned himself, either Ambassador, if he was going anywhere on the map that wasn't in the very narrow section of the map that was left, he would either walk past Orange Dress or into the conversation circle on the other side. And yeah, that was well set up.
That was really hard. That was really hard to see on in the sniper's view. I don't think I couldn't really see it at all. I couldn't see.
Yeah, and actually, for all the bad things we say about Orange Dress, she has a pretty great reverse animation. Her hand does not go out very much, and she's always so still when she's in all of her animations.
Yeah,
like her idle animation.
Yeah, she doesn't have any sort of
so still.
Not much of a lean or head movement.
So you can't really jerk from an idle animation anyway.
Right, exactly.
Well, we were doubting Marimo partway into that spy game, and he managed to pull it out.
He did have to add time twice, so I'm a little concerned for the future. But right now, so far, time ads have been there have been 4 or 5 time ads between the two of them so far. I think they should try to catch each other in these time ads a little bit more. because Marimo was able to get away with 2. The first one was just a green early in the game. That was going to be hard to catch, right? The second one being a white when his suspects had been whittled down. I think Baldrick should have been a little bit more on top of, but great decision on Marimo's part to recognize early enough in the game before the beeps that he needed extra time.
Right. Anyway, on to the next one. Marimo is brought it back to within 1. Another win here will tie it up again. We'll see if we can do it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
So Baldrick came 3-1 off of his map. If he can even just split Marimo's map, he's still going to be in a pretty good position for the rest of the set. But it's up to him now that he's let a spy win by. He's going to have to get a spy win on Veranda if he wants to split it at the very least.
To me, this indicates that the Polish brothers don't select cast because we just burned like 30 seconds watching where our seduction target's going to go because she's moving so slowly. Orange Sari is such a terrible seduction target.
It can be something that you're not super concerned about in the midst of, playing a competitive set. It can be a mistake to leave that as your seduction target when you want someone who's a bit faster. But it could also be a good decision in terms of flirting with Orange Sari is going to be less suspicious. I don't know if thinking like that is going to pay off on a map like Veranda, though.
Yeah. And also Orange Sari burns us by leaving once we catch up to her turtle-like movement. And we got the bug, so that's good, but we're still a minute and a half in with 1 mission, no seduction progress, so we're gonna have to rush that more or less. And right now we're kind of just burning time, and I don't think that's one of the options that we really have. Oh, Orange Sari is making her way back though. She might even join us.
Where's she gonna go? Other conversation. Oh, or statues. This would be a good chance to flirt and pick up a first set of inspects.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going for a briefcase. I like that too. It's you get 1 fingerprint early. You can maybe sneak one by late game when the sniper's worried about purloin, late swaps, that sort of thing.
Oh, Orange Sari takes a nice short path. This was really fortunate. I think we have a chance to flirt now.
We're not gonna take it though.
Interesting. I would be surprised if he goes for a seduction-less game on Veranda. It's pretty difficult to pair. He goes for a difficult fingerprint on this book, fails, but I believe there's another one available on Red Book. But now we have a green book, so it's gonna be difficult to get that.
Yeah, a lot of actions are gonna happen before we can get that fingerprint. A minute 15 left. We don't have much progress. We fake BB, so it looks like we're just relying on a wrong shot to come off now. Marimo is checking all the hardtail sites though, so I think he's pretty comfortable in waiting for one of his highlights to do something more certain.
And I'd say that Baldrick's assumption that there's a little bit of a tendency on his brother's part to shoot. I think he might not even be playing to finish. He might have to add time here. Yes, great. So he's adding time before the beeps. Now the big question is whether or not he's seen. The laser does move pretty quickly, but does not highlight Baldrick. We might get a highlight here in a second for the inspect, but it looks like we got away with the time add clean, which is going to be pretty big. And I think that opens up us being able to actually finish, and we just take a long shot.
Briefcase at the end, so possibly finishing fingerprints from Duke.
I was noticing there are a lot of highlights, by the way.
There are a lot of highlights. Quite a radioactive party.
Yeah, that's gonna that's a recipe for just picking a highlight and shooting at some point.
Yeah. Duke was also at Windows, possibly when Marimo saw the time ad come off. So maybe just an overconfident shot trying to punish time ads.
Gotcha. I do think that that definitely is overconfidence then in my mind, because if we just added time at what was it, like, it was like 37 seconds or something when we added time. If we added time, we weren't one fingerprint away in all likelihood. We wouldn't add time and then go finish on fingerprint. We wouldn't have needed to. We could have just done it within the last 37 seconds that we had. So I think that was a bit of a flustered shot, and I think you're right that it might have been a little bit of overconfidence where. And this might have been the second of two overconfident shots. Then the other one being Baldrick's shot on ballroom earlier in the set, where we didn't need to shoot really. There wasn't really a logical reason to shoot. We could have waited a little bit longer.
Well, Marimo does know that he let a time ad by on Ballroom. Maybe he wants to kind of show his brother, I'm not going to let any more time ads pass, so I'm just going to shoot you for this one.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, doesn't work out in his favor, though. So that might ironically inspire Baldrick to do even more time ads in the future. We'll see.
All right. Anyway, next one. We got Marimo. Is he starting with a drink again?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I know. Hard to judge this drink until I see it in game.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much going on with it, but we'll see.
I think it's another boring drink. Then.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's another empty drink. Here we
Empty
go.
one.
Well, we'll see it in a few seconds. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yep.
It's got a better cup shape though. My main other problem with wheels is it's just one of those really boring cups. And
It's a pint. Yeah, pint glass.
Yeah, and it's just it's whatever. It's minimal, I guess. But this one has a nice shape to it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of empty cups, the twins have a great empty cup. I love them.
Their cups are allowed to be empty. They're good enough.
Right. Although I feel like the drink for Bling Twin should have like a diamond or something on it. But the drinks, because I think the drinks are actually the same.
Come on. Where's the attention to detail?
I don't know. We do get we get 30% flirt, so not bad. The nice thing about Veranda is it has some of those small conversations where even though we were across the conversation for a seduction target, it's almost a next door seduction.
I don't know about that briefcase return. He didn't move before handing it off, but it looks like we weren't punished for it.
Yeah, we weren't punished for it, but we also don't get the difficult fingerprint on it either. Probably get a banana bread here. It wouldn't be a terrible time.
And when you miss difficult fingerprints like that, it almost even hurts a bit more because not only were you seen holding a briefcase, you now have to do 2 more fingerprints anyway. So that has a much higher chance of putting the sniper on your trail for the fingerprint.
We barely get that banana bread off in time before White Dress leaves us. So that actually is going to work out pretty well for us. It doesn't look like there's going to be much suspicion on the people in conversation with the double agent. More of a low lighting spree on the left-hand side. But if there was any sort of suspicion that was gained, it would have been quickly diffused by the fact that White basically left it and made it look like our conversation didn't have a DA.
Mm-hmm. We walk over, flirt with our ST and get our first set of inspects at the same time, pick up a highlight for it.
We also importantly do it in the right order. We flirt, then we sip, then we pick up so that it doesn't look suspicious for us standing there doing nothing at statues.
Yeah, the sip was a bit late. I don't think that's what the highlight was for, though.
Gotcha. Another difficult fingerprint.
We failed this one as well.
We ignored it too. I think we expected that to be a guaranteed fingerprint. So now we've touched briefcase twice, no fingerprint to show for it. But more importantly, in my mind, we're flustered because we didn't even go for the difficult fingerprint.
And here's a time ad coming off. It's green. The beep has just come off for the minute warning, so it's possible that Baldrick might be paying a bit more attention to the clock than normal.
Also, he knows that Marimo had a lot of trouble. If Baldrick is looking at all at the logs in between games, or probably actually just realized that there's a couple time ads in the last game because the game was pretty long, he's knowing that Marimo's having trouble finishing. So he should be a little bit tighter on the time ads. We are looking at this fingerprint, hopefully at the statue behind us, and it looks like we could even go for like, if we want to go crazy, we could do 2. But I don't think we have the
Banana bread.
opportunity.
Unfortunately, that's not a statue where we can get another set of inspects. We've already went to that one, and the fake looks like it's just trying to get someone else shot. It could kind of have the opposite effect, though. With 2 banana breads coming off in a single game, the sniper might be thinking the second one's a fake because the spies realize they can't finish missions. White purloin comes off again, and Baldrick sees it and takes a shot on Marimo.
Yeah. Pretty solid shot, and we were anticipating that because we actually called Toby over from across the map, basically, to come get that drink.
Like, please let me get shot.
Yeah,
Here, Toby.
Well, I mean, like at that point, I mean, it was a good call on Marimo's part because we had to do something. We had the thing is it is a great time to purloin if you get away with a green time ad much earlier, and you could get a purloin off in that same time. Seeing a purloin gone and you don't know who did it with the beeps going by slowly is a terrible situation to be in a sniper. But unfortunately, it was white.
Yep. All right, and oh man, Baldrick has a kind of a commanding lead right now.
What is that lead?
It's 5-2 currently.
Mm-hmm. So this is Marimo's chance to split his own map with this last sniper game.
Yep.
Otherwise, that will be another 3-1 map to Baldrick.
Oh, and Baldrick is, I believe, red dress for the second time in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that has any bearing on this match at all. 3, 2, 1, planet.
She's got a pretty decent drink. I like the colors.
And Baldrick finally starting with a drink for a change.
Right. This one,
the game is fair now.
Right. The green, this one's a little bit less. I'm guessing that's like a lime slice or something on the edge of her glass. I don't actually know. It's a little bit one note, one color. Where I think Queen's drink is actually like actually has like the contours and colors of a cucumber. The green slice, I think, is just like it almost looks like a glass lime slice. Like it's completely transparent and it's all one color. It's a bit weird. It looks kind of weird and futuristic. I've mixed feelings on this drink.
Mm-hmm. While we have been discussing the particulars of Spy Party drinks, we have managed to get a flirt and grab a book out of the green bookcase. We grabbed it and ran pretty quickly, so I think maybe Baldrick's plan is to slam this into another shelf, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think I'm curious about what happens. We might banana bread into it as well. Baldrick has been pretty bold about microfilm in general versus now I'm really curious about what this highlight is for.
We have made some suspicious movements. I think Marimo might have seen us leave the bookshelf relatively quickly. I don't know if we did a quick talk in that conversation or what. It wasn't a flirt.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell a little bit because Marimo just highlights a lot. But that was a highlight that didn't really have a particular purpose attached to it, except for maybe some of he did a repath, and also maybe it was a delayed highlight on the fingerprint.
Yeah. We do slam our book into blue bookshelf. We don't get shot for that. So I don't think the highlight is for the quick grab at green bookshelf, because otherwise Marimo would have caught the direct transfer. We go back to blue bookshelf to try and get the fingerprint that the Amba just left there. That will finish up fingerprint for us.
And we put it back immediately. We are doing a lot in the blind spot. Now, see, this reminds me of old Veranda. I think Marimo's laser positioning is a little bit poor right now. So we're able to get away with some of this. We shouldn't really be able to. But I love it. I think this is a great move by Baldrick.
The Amba and Toby are on all the way in the other little hallway area. And
I feel like he was gonna try to go for a swap here, because his brother was being so far on the other side. But it wouldn't have finished. He wouldn't have been able to get his other inspect in.
We take a pretty interesting path there. It lets us get the bug off clean, but we just went statue to statue with a pretty egregious bug path in between. That highlight someone saying in chat could possibly be due to just not knowing where his book came from as well, and just crediting him with a microfilm after he returns it.
We don't go in for our seduce, which I find to be
We do get shot though.
Let's see. Okay, so interesting.
Really delayed shot for the bug? I'm not sure what else it could be. I mean,
that shot timing is really risky, because if he thinks Baldrick's done with inspects there, if Flirt's also done, he could be counting down for the mission win.
Yeah, I let's see. How much would that have been enough time? So
yeah, no, it would have been over already. If that inspect was the last mission, he would have missed the 10-second timer.
Yeah, there's been a lot of odd shot timings. Now, let's be. I mean, obviously, it was the correct shot, but it is an odd time to shoot. The same thing with that Duke shot.
Yeah, usually if you're like, if someone's picking up if you suspect a bug and you see someone picking up a statue, and you're like, okay, that's their last inspects. That's usually you'd shoot pretty much right when they're picking up the statue.
I will say there might have been like the slightest tendency, although again it was still late. But one thing that I do notice about players is if they've finished with inspect or swap, they just have this intuitive response to walk as far away as they can. And so Baldrick was walking to the opposite corner, and so many. If you just watch this every once in a while, so many players when they finish inspect, they go to the exact opposite corner of the map, as if it was like they were just drawn to the just leaving as far as you can. So there's a little bit of that there, but I kind of doubt that's the reason. I would love it if that's the shot, but again, I think it would have been too late.
Well, anyway, on to the next map. And we get to see gallery.
And that last game was a Marimo win, correct?
It was indeed. So now they're Marimo is within 2.
Yeah. So that was a split.
Yeah, that was a
Marimo's
split. Yes.
map.
Oh hey, Marimo for the first time not starting with a drink.
Not starting with a drink and Alice on gallery,
Ooh.
which I don't think Marimo has been picking, but if he did pick,
that is a good choice.
If he did random, great random.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is sort of if you're not gonna be Penguin or Small Man, then you should be Alice.
Right. Yep.
Awesome. All right.
We've seen Marimo having time issues, so maybe he's starting to intentionally pick to kind of combat that. I don't know.
I hope. Although I would say that one of the underrated, so Alice is kind of like has a huge reputation for being speedy. Seek is also, I love Seek on this map, to be totally honest. I think his microfilm animation's great. The problem with him is he's a little bit hard to get with, like cheesy stuff.
Yeah, he's a little bit tall. Yeah. But anyway, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh, and also a fun fact about the cucumber. It is in fact, the texture is in fact a photograph of a cucumber.
Oh wow! Quick swap comes off. Maybe we were hoping to get to that statue before Baldrick could see it, and that's the type of move that could get you shot quickly, but could also win you a game on gallery.
Yeah, now we're in this kind of awkward position though on gallery. Now we are going to try to finish missions. Probably, if we do a swap, we're probably not trying to get someone else swap. Especially, we're not trying to get someone else shot if we're hoping to get in there before the memorization, right? But we're in this odd position where if we think that we've been seen with the possible swap, we don't want to rush, but we do want to make sure we get mission progress in. I think the best choice at this point that Marimo can make is assume that he got away with it and just really try to drive into the easy missions and get seduction done, get DA done.
The highlight could signify suspicion for a swap because he couldn't see the statues, but everyone else who visits statues is also just getting the classic statue highlight. So my guess is that Baldrick has no clue about the swap, and that's all it is.
No, I think you're right. Now, gallery is one of the interesting maps with regards to inspects because you must visit statues twice. There is no way to get it done in one trip, which has made interesting.
Red
Seduction
time
target is
ad.
awesome for us though. So we have a time ad that doesn't work out for us, and Duke gets a highlight. So we had that red time ad, and it was possibly caught, and so maybe Duke going pad to pad on the same one for the time ad, and then hearing the beep, Duke actually might have a ton of suspicion on him. Unfortunately, if Duke was suspicious, then we should also be suspicious.
Well, we're not shot for second inspects. We just need a flirt and a fingerprint to win this game. So even if we are incredibly suspicious, it's going to be tough for us to get shot unless Baldrick is onto that fingerprint we grabbed at the statues and is willing to shoot for a second one.
Good number too. We have 66% done. So as long as we make sure we're close enough, we have a guaranteed finish on flirt with the white test.
Was that Baldrick who missed shot for the time ad on veranda?
No, that was Marimo.
I was gonna say maybe he's willing to hold his shot a bit more, but if that wasn't Baldrick, then I guess not.
That would be funny though, because it's also
it
Duke
was
that got
Duke.
shot. Yeah.
Innocent book return here might lose us some suspicion, especially since we're kind of out in the open where it's not easy to hide a microfilm.
Unfortunately, ambassadors. Well, actually, no.
Oh.
Maybe wait. Did we put it back at the wrong time, or did we misremember?
We did break an animation on that return, I believe.
Yeah, a little bit. It's pretty slight, but yeah, you can see the head was starting to go the other way.
Yeah.
I think Baldrick was much more onto the time ad than we thought,
Yep.
and I think he had it basically narrowed down to just Duke and Alice.
And maybe Duke wasn't really doing much of anything. Hard to say.
Duke was just outside in a conversation.
Yep.
It's funny, a fake BB there might have gotten Duke shot.
Yeah, and just for the people in that are watching that don't know what the animation break was, right after the page flip is when you need to put it back. He waited too long where Alice started reading again. I would say like maybe half a second too long. It was pretty minor, but it was there. Also, possibly just general suspicion for being next to Ambassador, or maybe we thought that we had completed microfilm. It's possible also that the page flip looked like green. A lot of things going on there, but I think I agree that I think the swap was basically clean. But the time ad, the fact that Duke got suspicion for the time ad should have narrowed it down to basically just a couple of people. And
we got burned on the time ad eventually, it looks like. It took a red test for it to happen, but finally did. And you can see even just in the laser movement after the animation break comes off, Baldrick was very ready to make that shot.
Yeah.
He was looking for any
must have had a
reason.
pretty large amount of heat, presumably from red time ad, and not only was it a time ad near Duke, but he also followed Duke to the bookshelf, another flirt, which is pretty suspicious.
I don't really even think that time ad is necessary there. I think you can finish without it. Especially
I don't know. I don't think I don't think the time ad was intentional. I think he was trying to flirt.
Yeah,
that explains the red test as well.
All right. Anyway, here we go. Baldrick making the correct choice on Smallman. We'll see if he takes full advantage of this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, I refuse to believe that this pick isn't intentional. And there's the I thought he was about to get highlight for being Smallman, but didn't happen.
Oh, we got denied that bug.
In the world, getting denied the walking the bug standing at the pad. Like this is like sometimes I have preferences for who wins in matches overall, but I will say I will always root against Smallman on gallery every single time.
There's the white Purloin. Purloin possibly the only mission that is a worse idea with Smallman.
Screen shakes from Baldrick after the white. Although right now it doesn't seem like it's seen. Now it is horrible to have the Purloin as Smallman because he had the unique Toby animation. but it looks like we got away with it, which is a big deal.
Low lights start coming off, but not a whole lot of them.
I think Baldrick thinks he's high lit, by the way. So I'm really curious about how he acts. Like right now, he's been really passive. He didn't go for that. Well, actually, the bug wouldn't have been available because it was on the other side. But I'm really curious how Baldrick does the rest of this game.
Wrong arm comes out. Was on screen.
I mean, we'll have to use on screen with air quotes basically every time because it's small men.
Yeah, that's very true. And an immediate transfer coming up. Oh!
Wrong shot! Oh no! Oh, that's heartbreaking. Oh my
awful.
god!
All right, remind me again. And that in a Baldrick and Marimo match, a similar thing happened where I believe Seek was like the corner of Seek's turban got in the way of a shot. Who was it who was taking that shot? Was it Marimo that time too?
I don't know.
I don't recall that.
There was a
match.
similar match. Yeah, it was a similar match we casted where, I mean, it was actually even more ridiculous misshot happened. I mean, this one it just, I mean, yeah, the other one it was on the library before the pillars were patched to be shoot throughable, and so it was like he didn't really have much of a choice. But in this one, you could be just more patient. That's not a shot you want to really take. There's just so much.
Was walking so straight.
Then she wasn't.
She just turned right into
but
the
still,
bullet.
I mean, he can't. Like I mean, he was almost done, surprisingly, but
Well, you know it's Smallman. What he can do is toss that book in and go run and hide behind the conversation.
That's true.
I was just about to say that. It's like he could dance. I think you're right that he probably wasn't going to. And the thing is, that shot looked like it was going to be fine. It was a bit crammed in there, right? Because it was between two people. So let's say Twin all of a sudden, because he was at paintings, Twin could have backed up and taken that bullet too. There was two different people that could have messed that up. But oh my god, that is just that's so unjust. Like I feel like this is just evil. This is Game of Thrones type shit.
This is small man. That's a standard small man on gallery.
It's even funnier. It's the double agent taking the bullet for us like a true partner.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, doing what Damon won't do.
So that's 2 losses for Marimo on gallery, correct?
That is correct. Unfortunately, I mean he would have had that one, but
that's gotta hurt.
But that's well. I do remember on the last time something like that happened. The other brother, was kind and did like instant shot in a game later on to balance it out. We'll see if that happens again in this this courtyard game or a later one. Go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So the score is now 7-3. And also remember that Baldrick's the higher seed coming in, so all he needs is a tie. So just one more win for Baldrick nets him the series.
All right. Well, the Purloin, we do get highlight, or sorry, we don't get highlight. The laser is right near us when that happens, so we might be able to get on top of this. Yes, we do get the highlight. Great.
We get highlight.
Well, great for Baldrick. Unfortunately, that's like Marimo's first green or something, right? On
Marimo has purloined an insane amount of times in the set. And sometimes it's worked out for him. I want to say it's about 50-50. I'm not entirely sure. If a wrong shot comes off, it will be 50-50.
Yeah, but he gets that bug. Like Baldrick was completely on the other side of the map on the bug. He was not defending Amb at all. He was prioritizing lowlights. Marimo actually still might be able to win this because he might not visit statues, and I think that Baldrick is just going to shoot if he goes for statues.
Yeah. We do get a bug somewhere. I don't even see where that bug came from, but it happened. And
that was the bug that was on the far side. He was prioritizing lowlights, and he was completely on the other side of the map. There was no indication at all that the bug was off. So that's why he can just get away with this.
Gotcha. So there's looks like 5 suspects for the Purloin. I don't think the reject chain was actually that long. We get shot for statues though.
I think that's such a. I'm so sad because if we just banana breaded, honestly, like we would have been such a harder position to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted him to go for the banana bread instead. I understand the pull of a silent game, but courtyard, there's so many people in conversation. The double agent was in the conversation right there next to us. We intentionally passed it up. I don't like it.
He's possibly thinking that Baldrick is gonna wait for the banana bread to shoot. There was also a pretty bad path coming out of that conversation into statues. May have been another impetus for the shot.
All right, and I think is that it? Is that the last game? Because
It looks like there's one more game in the set.
oh, they played. I mean, I think technically they didn't need to play anymore, right? Because once the
Technically, that's the end.
once the top seed hits 8, they're already guaranteed at least a tie, which under this tournament means that you've won. But apparently they played the last game just for funsies.
Maybe they want to keep their numbers even. Who knows?
Yep,
It's true. And like also it doesn't feel right to win on the tie thing, so I think that they probably just want to close it out, you know.
makes sense. All right. Anyway, we got Baldrick here as Orange Dress going for the final taunt.
The victory lap.
Yeah, but a very slow victory lap. Let's see. We'll see if we can pull this off in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
It's possible that someone's saying in chat it's possible they credited the missed shot to Marimo. I don't know if you're able to do that in SCL, but
That's actually fair though. Like it's true that Baldrick might feel the need to actually win the series because of that. Such awful luck. And I also like that Baldrick is playing as Orange Sari, his good luck charm.
his sworn defender.
All right, we have 49%, which is totally fine. We can still get that 2 flirt. We are kind of looking over. Okay, I thought we were maybe try to go for a purloin, but it was actually just positioning for the pathing that would be coming up on. We're gonna try for a 2 flirt. Yeah, I'm still just. I'm really sad that Smallman didn't die when he deserved to. When you caught it, you saw it. Everything was well in the world, and then just it all falls apart.
Yeah, if that had happened really early into the set, that could have been a real drag on morale.
Right.
I don't want to say luckily it happened later, because the fact that it happened at all is kind of awful. But I mean, at least Marimo wasn't playing an entire set with the thought in his mind of, oh, if I just made that shot, I'd be up one more game right now.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, if it was me and I took a wrong shot, I'd definitely want it to happen later. Now, obviously, I wouldn't want to happen on the last game because that would just, regardless of the set morale or not, that's my off-season morale that I'm just like thinking about that shot over and over again. Luckily, it looks like it's probably not gonna matter. If it was a close set, it would have been brutal, right? And then there probably would have been some big problems around the dinner table.
Oh, you're right. All the family gatherings, just awkward exchanged glances between Marimo and
Banana
Baldrick.
bread.
Nothing's ever been the same since SCL Season 4. Wrong shot comes off from Marimo anyway.
All right. Anyway, with that, Baldrick actually wins with a pretty commanding score, 9-3.
With an honorary score of 8-4, if we count that missed shot.
Yep.
Which we really should.
All right. Well, that's gonna be a fun Thanksgiving for them if they celebrated Thanksgiving. Obviously, they don't because
In
Polish.
Poland, they probably don't.
They probably don't. But anyway,
Whatever the Polish
the next
analog of
whatever the next family gathering is, I'm sure Baldrick will hang this over Marimo for a little bit.
And Baldrick was definitely the dominant coming out of the end of the season. I think Baldrick is also the older brother, if I'm not mistaken. So he gets to taunt his little bro about that.
As a little brother, that also makes me sad. This is only just piling
Yeah.
on the
It's
old insecurities about this.
hits pretty close to home.
Yeah, it's horrible. That I mean, like it was a pretty commanding set. So it's not as just heart wrenching as it could have been, but man, small man galleries broken and should have died, and it's just horrible.
All
It's
right.
okay.
Anyway,
Maybe in our next set we'll get to see Smallman shot at some point.
yeah, maybe we will. We'll see. I actually don't remember if I was. I was Smallman at least once. We'll see. We'll see if he does or does not get shot. All right.